Howdy folks, Spencer here, and today I want to take a look at the drop rate of the advanced console fragments that you can get from completing Elite TFOs. Now, you don't actually get the fragments when you complete the TFO, rather the R&D Elite Queue box that you get has a chance to drop the fragment when you open that box, which means that you don't technically need to play Elite TFOs to have a chance at getting these components or these fragments, because you can get the fragments by buying those Elite Queue boxes off the exchange or obtaining them through any other way that they're available in the game, like if you get a critical on a research assignment. Now, the reason I'm doing this video here today is because I have heard a lot of different rumors going around about Cryptic nerfing the drop rate. The drop rate when they announced it was supposed to be 50%, and I've seen people talking about not getting one out of like 20 boxes. So I wanna go through and test things and just settle the debate and give everyone a solid answer on what the drop rate of the fragments are from the Elite Queue boxes. And the way that I am doing this is that I borrowed some EC from MC Stew's fleet, and I spent about 18 million picking up 100 of these Elite Queue R&D material boxes off the exchange for the Trillium K version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this character over to Tribble 5 times, and I am going to open up all 100 of these boxes on each of those 5 characters, and I'm going to just keep track of what the drop rate actually is with each of those tests. Now, this video is going to be quite raw. There's not going to be too much editing here. So if you want to just skip to the end and see what the results are, there will be a chapter listed down below if you want to skip ahead to that point in the video. So without further note there, I'm going to go and copy the first character over. So this character does have some R&D components on it, but none of it are the advanced components. So everything I copy over should be fine for this testing here. So I'm just going to copy this over 5 times. Well, there's 2 times, so I'll head over to Tribble now and get the first 2 characters done here, and then we can just copy more as I go. Let's start out with the 4 of many number 5 here. When you copy characters over to Tribble, if you copy the same character over multiple times, it'll just add a number to the end. So I've copied this one over a couple times. As you can see here, again, there are none of the advanced components in my inventory at this time. They would be ultra rare quality if they were in here. So here we go. Here's the first batch of 100. Now, the advanced battery superconducting loops, those drop from every single box, and I'm not going to keep track of those for the simple fact of that they're so insanely common that the market's saturated. Like, you can go and buy stacks of thousands of them for very little. So I'm just going to be keeping track on the actual advanced fragments here. And at the end, I will also just be going over, my thoughts on the drop rate here and what I think they need to do and all that. Okay, so for the first test here, you can see that I got 55. Again, there was exactly 100 of the Elite Queue R&D boxes in my inventory, and in this case, I had a little bit more than the 50% chance that they had discussed. So right there, that was 55. So that was 55% drop rate in that first batch. I'm going to go back and do that on the next character. So now we're going to 4 of many, number 6. Again, you can see, I mean, I just copied this character over in front of you, so you can see there's no components currently in there. None of the advanced ones, anyways. This is definitely a case in which these things were stacked up. If these were stacked, these would be much easier to open up. But given that each one has its own slot in the inventory, it's a little bit of a pain. And that one was 51. Okay. So the first one was 55, second one was 51. Let's copy over the character again. So while I'm here, I'm just going to copy it over 2 more times, and then we'll have the correct number over here for the rest of the test. If you are copying characters over to Tribble a ton, just be careful about spamming a ton in one go. I have heard of people being locked out of being able to copy characters over if they're spamming like dozens and dozens real quick. Usually, if I copy over characters, I'm doing 1 or 2 a minute, basically. Okay, this is 4 of many, number 7. And no, I am not using an auto clicker right now. I do wish I was. I'll tell you that. I wish I was using one because this is a lot of clicking. Okay, so that one was 53. So far everything's been above the odds that they had announced so far. But I mean, there's still another 200 to go here. It's still possible that I'll have one that gives me less than 50. So this is going to be 4 of many, number 8, or the 4th character I'm doing this test on. Here we go. I mean, you definitely have streaks where you don't get any, and then you also have streaks where you get a ton close together. So there we go. That's the first batch of 100 here where it gave me less than 50, and even then, like, that wasn't by that much, like 49. You know, so far in all the tests, I'm above that drop rate that they said. So one more character here, and that'll be it for this testing. Here we go. Like, you see, sometimes it just gives you a bunch in a row, and sometimes you get unlucky. That is the thing with, STO in general, is so much of this game is RNG and like gambling, and even when it comes to, what rewards you're getting from these R&D boxes, it's all RNG. It is completely random. So that was the worst of the batch. That was 47. But I mean, overall, like that wasn't that bad. If I open up the calculator here, let's add that all up. So I did 500 boxes, and I had 47 plus 49 plus 53 plus 51 plus 55. So just above what you would expect for 50% odds. What is that? I'm going the wrong with the math there. Hold on. By 500. So 0.51%. The drop rate that they talked about on the stream was 50%. And I just opened 500 of these boxes, and I basically was right within margin of error of that. So for this idea that's been going around, that they nerfed the drop rate, I'm just not seeing it. And I know someone's going to say, well, you're doing this on the Tribble test server. Well, I'll go and open an additional 100, the 100 that I copied over to Tribble there. I'll go open those 100 up that I got on live, and I mean, you can clearly see that this is the live server. There's people running around on Drozana. The console's not lit up there. But this is clearly live right now. And if I go and open these up, let's see what the drop rate is. That is always one of the complaints that I see when I do any tests on Tribble, is that I'm doing it on Tribble, and the drop rates are different. And in most cases, they're not. The drop rates on Tribble are the exact same as live. But we will see here. Do I get, right around 50%? So far, drop rate seems to be pretty good. I'm already at 40 something. Above 50. I got 56 there, so the drop rate I just had on the live server was even better than what I experienced on any of those tests, over on Tribble. Then I think that's just within margin of error. So on the idea that Cryptic, nerfed him again, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it on live. I'm not seeing it on Tribble. I've now opened 600 of these things, and there for sure is like a 50% drop rate on them. If you are opening lots of these boxes and you are just having really bad luck, the thing that I would recommend to you is don't open them one by one. If you open them one by one right after you complete a queue, it can really feel like the drop rate is worse than it may be. And in some cases, you may just be that unlucky with the RNG. But in any case, if you're trying to do elite TFOs to grind the materials to get those advanced consoles, I would highly recommend that you get a big batch of the Elite Queue R&D boxes together before you open them. Don't open them one by one. I think you're going to have a more successful experience if you go and open them, like 10 at a time, because you're going to see that 50% drop rate more in effect when you're opening in a large batch like that. So that would be my recommendation. Hopefully this answers some questions that some of you had about the drop rate of these things. And hopefully, again, it settles any debate about, whether or not Cryptic went out and nerfed them. And again, the test here clearly shows that they have not. Now, I know some of you want the drop rate to be increased, and that's probably something that would be nice to see in the future. But I think right now, the more important thing for Cryptic would be to make the rest of the advanced consoles good, to increase the value of them. Because if you go look on the market at most of these advanced consoles, most of them, I guess I'll go back to that character, most of them are not really worth that much. The isomags are worth it. Those are really high in price still, because those are good. The isomags are the new meta consoles to have on energy weapon builds. They beat Spire, locators, and exploiters in various conditions, which I'll talk about in a future video. The hanger pet consoles are nice for boosting pets, but they're not going to be worth it for everyone. The science consoles, those really aren't worth it. From everything I've seen so far, the science consoles look like they're duds. And I guess this would be easier if I pull up my PowerPoint here. So give me a second. Yes, this is actually a video I am still working on, but the advanced science consoles, there's one for Drain, there's one for exotics. The issue is the Drain, to be honest, Drain just sucks in the current state of the game. And the exotic ones, nobody's going to drop their exotic consoles to run that. So it's really the engineering ones that are good right now. And while I'd like to see the drop rate, increase for the ISO mag components to make them a bit more accessible, it would also be nice if these other consoles were tuned to make them a little bit more valuable also, because like the engineering consoles have definitely made these engineering heavy ships a bit more valuable right now, but these science ones have failed to hit the mark. And you can see that reflected on the price of the components on the exchange. In fact, these components that I just got from opening those boxes, you can see that they're quite cheap on the exchange. Whereas if I look up the isomag ones, those are over 10, almost 15 times the price per. So a little bit of a ramble there, but that's going to be it for this video. I'll be talking more about these advanced consoles here in some more videos over the next few days. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to drop by the Discord, and I will answer things as I can. Thank you all for tuning in, and again, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. See you guys around.